Thanks for listening to Being Bubbly, the podcast where good vibes, real talk, and a little sparkle come together. I'm your host, Taylor, and around here, we believe life is better when you show up as your most authentic and bubbly self. So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's pop into today's conversation. Hi, guys, and welcome back to Being Bubbly. I am so excited to be back with you all. We are officially launching season 2, which is so exciting. And yeah, I know it's been a little bit since we've been together, about a year, which is a little crazy. So I bet you're wondering, what have I been up to? What took me so long to come back? What's new? Those are all very valid questions that I am going to get into in season 2, episode 1. Let's pick back up where we started and, of course, start with our official season 2 first Lily fit check. I am wearing a beautiful ensemble. Shout out to Newly because you have literally saved my life. I was so excited to uh, I thought I was going to wear this dress to my sister's bridal shower, but I didn't end up choosing it. So I'm excited to debut the look today. But of course, season 2 wouldn't be Being Bubbly without our Lily fit check. And all right, so what's new? What have I been up to in the last year? Let's call it. I am officially a mom of 2 little girls. Yes, that's right. I gave birth to my second daughter, Madeline, a little over 2 months ago. So we are very much still in the thick of it. I don't know if you can hear her. She's in the other room, not happy that I put her down for a nap. But here we are. So honestly, that's probably been the biggest change since we last saw each other or you saw me. And we'll get into all of that, my second pregnancy, birth story, postpartum, all of that. I'm really excited to share. What else is new? In true typical Taylor Kevin Morris fashion, we have decided to add to the chaos and we are officially moving. And when I say moving, I literally mean we are moving a mile away, like 6 minutes up the road, but really excited. The house is perfect. We're moving even closer to his parents, which is great. And just so excited for kind of this next chapter for us. But I will say, moving, especially moving with children, especially moving with a newborn baby, especially moving with my husband, it's not for the faint of heart. It is chaos and it happened very quickly. And yeah, we're kind of just minute by minute over here, but excited for it to all work out. And you will hopefully soon be seeing a new Being Bubbly studio. So big plans there. Let's see. Oh, I got a new mom car, mom of 2. Needed to move forward with the captain seat. Very excited. I will say driving my mom car is a bit of a vibe. I got a Jeep Wagoneer, which my family calls it the barge because it is ginormous and I'm getting all my extra steps in because I literally have to park it across the parking lot where there are no other cars because I don't know how to park it and park crooked. And it stresses me out every time I take it out, but I love it. Like I said, it's a vibe and really just taking in this mom of 2 era that I'm in and just smiling through it all or trying to at least. And honestly, other than that, I'm trying to think if anything major. I got a bob this year. Obviously, not now. I'm growing my hair out for my sister's wedding. But as soon as that is over, I will be cutting my hair. And I really enjoyed my bob life. So that might be making an appearance on Being Bubbly as well. And other than that, I don't know, guys. I'm pretty boring, pretty much the same. Yeah. So let's kind of backtrack a little bit and rewind to where we left each other a year ago. I think I was looking through old episode notes and it was like episode 12 or something. I was packing our bags. We were taking a family trip to London. I was very anxious about flying international with Millie, my toddler at the time. And I know I had said, I'm going to do a total London trip recap episode with my sisters and all of that. Clearly, that didn't happen. And I think I said either before then or after then that I was going to take a little bit of a summer break just to kind of, you know, do what people do best in the summer and be outside and not stress and be on my phone 24/7. And my little, what I planned to be 2, 3 weeks ended up being a year. So I would say it was a vacation, but it was not. But yeah, so I had all the plans in the world to come back, probably like I think early mid August. And da, 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 I found out literally the second week in August that I was pregnant. And let me just say, now I know I will do a whole pregnancy episode, but I was listening back to my old pregnancy episode where I was just talking about how much I loved being pregnant and I was the best version of myself when I was pregnant and I was glowing and yada, yada, yada. Let me just be the first to say I had a piece of humble pie. Literally, the week before I found out I was pregnant, I was already nauseous and sick, and it just continued on through a majority of the pregnancy. So I was literally unable to really do anything. I was taking 2, 3 naps a day. Uh, and obviously, this is a very technical situation we have going on here at Being Bubbly headquarters, and I couldn't look at screens or my phone or TV for any longer than I needed to. Now, granted, I work remote, and so all of my focus and energy went to doing my job. And then by the end of the day, when I could have, recorded content or some episodes for Being Bubbly, I literally couldn't even look at another screen. So that kind of pushed the return back a little bit. And then once I started feeling better, kind of second trimester into third, got put on modified activity with restrictions, AKA bed rest. Again, we'll go through all of that. But I started to plan the Being Bubbly comeback from my bed, which I actually was kind of excited for. It was going to be a new kind of, well, one, new view because this obviously is in my bed. But two, I was bored out of my mind and figured why not do something while I'm sitting and laying here. So I had started to make all the plans, thinking about episodes. I was basically going to decorate my entire uh, bed and headboard and wall behind my bed. My husband was going to be very mad at me because I had all of these things in our Amazon cart. And just like that, I went into labor early again. Classic me. And so that also then pushed the return of Being Bubbly back because I was not going to do it while having a very new newborn. So that basically brings us here 2 months later. And yeah, I'm currently on maternity leave. I spend my days with the baby. Millie is at daycare for most of the day. God bless, thank God. Love her dearly, but sometimes she's just got to get out of the house. And honestly, my husband, Kevin, was like, when's this going to happen? You've been saying it's coming back. You've been pushing it off, pushing it off. So he kind of gave me the little push that I needed. And that's basically my life in a nutshell within the last year. Um, I will say, and I have been really excited to get back on and chat about this because in kind of my time off for my little Being Bubbly break, I definitely learned a lot from kind of this new endeavor. When I ended and took the break last summer, I wasn't really sure, what people thought about being bubbly, what I really thought about being bubbly. And I kind of was just finding myself in this like rut and just became really inconsistent with all of it. And so I was hoping like a little break would kind of rejuvenate and kind of reset me. Again, little break turned into a year, but that's all right. And there were so many different situations where I would see people and they would ask, when's Being Bubbly coming back? Or I loved your podcast, or talk about a specific episode that meant a lot to them. And honestly, like that meant the world to me. And that's what kept telling me to like really think about coming back, and deep down I knew that I would. But I think I just needed to hear that validation that one, people like listening to it, people found something from it. I feel like I definitely started to put in the work to kind of create this little Being Bubbly community, which like I said in the very beginning when I started, that was my goal all along, and what I want this to be. So excited to kind of build off of that foundation that we started in season one. But seriously, every single one of you that came up and asked when I was coming back or what happened to Being Bubbly, thank you, thank you. It really meant the world to me. I will say I learned a little bit about my demographic. I just figured it would be all like women in their 20s, 30s. And I had a lot of men or boys, my husband's friends really, comment and say that they enjoyed listening to Being Bubbly and wanted to know when I was coming back, and really were my like biggest supporters. So really excited, and thank you for listening. Another thing I would say that I missed during my time or my break from Being Bubbly, um, was the outlet it was for me. I have to say, when I first started, like I was inspired, and I, was really energetic about what this could become. And, I didn't really have that um, voice in the back of my head that was like, hey, don't post that. You look like a weirdo. You're a loser. Like all those things. Like when I first started, I thought I was going to have all that. Like me being a people pleaser. I lack self confidence in those areas. And so, when I launched this, I just really had this like, I don't care. I'm going to post it. And if you like it, you do. If you don't, then you don't. And I loved that energy I had. And then by the time the season kind of went through, towards the end of season one, I definitely felt like I lost that. And I started to get in my own head. Also learned that I am horrible at social media and TikTok and Instagram and all the things. I still am. I am very novice when it comes to that, as you can see in my content. Little plug there. Follow Being Bubbly Pod at or on Instagram and TikTok. But I just like started to get really self-conscious about my content. I was really inconsistent. Story of my life. If there was a word to describe season 2 of Being Bubbly, I want that word to be consistency. And whatever that means, we'll figure it out together on this little journey. But yeah, I'm excited to feel silly. I'm excited to be creative with some of the content and really have that outlet for me. I know it helped me so much in my kind of postpartum days with my first daughter. And I'm hoping that that can do the same in my, I guess, early postpartum days with my second daughter. And I really want this to just continue and see where it goes. So, in terms of what is next for Being Bubbly in season 2, I am so excited. I have so many fun things planned, great episodes, some fun content. Again, just want to thank you all for your love and support during the first season of Being Bubbly, during the off season of Being Bubbly, and I'm hoping what I get during the second season and seasons beyond that. And want to quickly shout out when I was on the break, I literally didn't open anything Being Bubbly because I was just like, I need to take a second. But when I opened it back up, like a couple weeks ago, I found that I have 13 listeners in China. which is very exciting. So, hello. And thank you for listening. Oh, I know I mentioned my cover art that you can see. I don't know if anyone caught on, but I added one more rubber ducky. So there are two rubber duckies to signify my two children. I thought I was very clever for that, by the way. AKA ChatGPT and Canva saved my life. So special shout out to them. That's it from episode one, the relaunch of Being Bubbly. Let's go, season two. And without further ado, let's go ahead and break out my, of course, Being Bubbly champagne glass. Shout out to Samantha who made this for me. And cheers to being bubbly, guys. Thanks so much for spending time with me on Being Bubbly. If this episode made you smile, think, or feel a little bit more like yourself, I'd love for you to share it or leave a review. Until next time, keep showing up, keep shining, and keep being bubbly. Cheers.